As you well know, the French presidential elections are over, and Nicolas Sarkozy is out the door, and François Hollande is in. This marks the first time that a socialist has actually won the French presidency in quite a long time. Now, he won by 51.7% of the vote in Sunday's runoff election. This is a very important election, which, frankly, to many people was nothing but the economy. But there were other issues, of course, but I mean, to everybody, this was just straight up the economy and getting the economy back on track. Now, also interesting to note that this is now the 11th European leader that has gone down as a result of the global collapse of capitalism. So which leaves me to wonder, how much of this election was about being pro-socialist as opposed to being anti-Sarkozy? Because Sarkozy was really unpopular with a lot of people for a lot of the things he did, and not just policies, but things he did in his actual life. Now that the socialist has been elected, these are the promises that he has made. Here are some of the proposals he has made. A crackdown on tax evasion, a 75% income tax on people earning more than 1.3 million euros, which is a hell of a lot of money. 60,000 new teaching jobs. 26 billion in new government spending over the next 5 years, and lowering the retirement age from 62 back down to 60, where it was before Sarkozy raised it. Now, these things are all well and good, but the real test is finding out how socialist he really is. There's a lot of parties that say they're socialist, but don't actually deliver on the socialism. We're all aware that these parties exist. And all I'm saying is that I don't particularly know this man, and I do not particularly know his party. I only know bourgeois parliamentarism, and I know what it does. So we will have to really wait and see exactly what he's going to do. The real thing here, if he's a socialist, a real socialist, is to convert the economy into a socialist economy. Now, I don't actually see that happening. He's pretty much going to be a social democrat, in my opinion. But again, like I said, I don't know the man. Switching economies like that is a tremendously difficult task. Although to a degree it would be less difficult to do in France, but with it already being highly socialized. Although first we'd have to repair a lot of the things that Sarkozy actually destroyed. So we have to understand that France is in a bad position right now, along with most of Europe. Although a lot of places in Europe are actually worse off than France. Now, they don't have a lot of money. Again, this is the old paradox. You have to have money to spend money. And you have to fix things by having money. You don't have any money, and to repair the economy is to have people spend money, but they can't spend money if they don't have money. One of the many contradictions of capitalism that Marx actually pointed out. Now, the big problem here internationally is the fact that they're going to have to deal with the whole European Union and the Euro debt. Now, right now, Germany is pretty much really pounding the austerity measure drive in order to repair the European economy. Now, he's promised to repair it and push forward the idea that they will repair it through government spending. Now, that's a hell of a challenge. He's going to have to deal with Germany and the other powers that are pushing the austerity, which means he has to be able to get in there and talk with Germany, and they're basically have to debate with them over it in order to fight it, and that's going to be a hell of a challenge to actually take on the austerity drive that's going on through Europe. It's going to be a hell of a bargain to have to actually make, and we're going to be able to see how socialist they can actually afford to be bargaining with that kind of position. Now, like I said, France is not in a really good position at all. Just back in January, the Standard & Poor's downgraded France's credit rating, which is really not a good sign. It's never a good sign when that happens. And that shakes all kind of investor confidence, markets, all that kind of stuff. So he is inheriting a hell of a mess. Because we also have to keep in mind that France has not had a budget surplus since 1974. They've really been in a bad position and frankly has been spending more money than they have. but I would blame that more towards capitalism than the actual social programs. But in the overall, I'm saying the guy is inheriting a hell of a mess. And he's got a hell of a struggle against him to try and fix that. And he's coming from an angle that's really not popular among the European powers right now. We'll have to wait and see how socialist he really is, and how much socialism he can actually push through.